Graham Walker, CEO of Fiberbond in Minden. Graham, it looks like there may be a solution to your transportation problem, at least a temporary one.
Yeah. What do you think? What's the plan? What do you hear? What do you know?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, good morning. I do think that's accurate, that there is a viable temporary solution that we've been working on for a couple of weeks now. And there was a meeting yesterday at Camp Minden that I think was productive. So in the short term, we've got a way to avoid, at least cut some of the mileage off of the longer route that we were talking about yesterday. So
how much do you mean by how long do you mean by short term? 2 weeks, 6 months, a year? When?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, the thing that we've consistently said throughout this process with the state and over the past year or so, and even searching further back, is that we need 2 routes out of our facility. Just given the derating of the bridges that has already occurred, we've got to have guaranteed means of access. So, with that, we're going to see what the DOT proposes. After the conversation yesterday morning, I had a call from Dr. Sean Wilson. So, I think it is. They're certainly working on it and trying to identify, the best way to get us and get our product out of the state. So, that's all positive.
If the Camp Minden route works out. And I know it's early in the negotiations, et cetera, but do you have a sense of how soon this might happen? And I would what does Camp Minden, what do the feds want in return for their allowing you access?
Not sure yet. So I will say this: Camp Minden folks yesterday were very willing to be helpful. So we're appreciative of that. And in terms of when that route becomes viable, I think it's largely a function of if there are additional things that need to be done. First of all, to get to that route, there's a posted bridge, approximately mile and a half to the east of Camp Minden. That's got to be shored up. That would take some number of months, I'm sure. And then possibly there's an underpass where Highway 80 goes underneath I-20. That may have to be taken down as well. So we're really waiting for the DOT to figure out exactly what's got to happen there.
So not as simple as it just seems on the surface. Oh, they'll just cut through Camp Minden.
Not making that route tomorrow, unfortunately, but still progress. So
where your site is within a stone's throw of I-20. I mean, you probably can.
We border I-20.
You can throw a rock and hit it. There's the Sibley Road to the east of you that has an on-ramp and off-ramps to I-20. Why can a road not be built along I-20 to connect to that Sibley Road? That seems to be a pretty simple option.
Yeah, so there, one of the routes that we proposed there was a letter, and then there was kind of the marketing piece that I believe you guys posted on your website from yesterday. Mm-hmm. On the marketing piece, one of the options that we proposed, in fact, the best option in our book, is to carry Davenport Drive, which runs east and west, carry that to the east and tie into US 371, which is Sibley Road. That does a couple of things. One, right now between ourselves and one other company, FWM Mechanical, we've got hundreds of people that are behind an active rail line at any given time, and with no other means out besides Davenport and Irwin Thompson. So, with that, we'd love to have another route out that would tie us into Sibley Road, and then just the access to the interstate would be ideal. Most of what we're building, some of it can be on the interstate, but most can't. So, for us to get access to the interstate, that would help with inbound material, and certainly would help with employees getting to work and that kind of thing, and having the ability to get out in an emergency situation. But in terms of tying into I-20 for kind of shipping these major mega loads, that's not a particularly viable option.
We looked at the top of the hour news break. Erin called me down to her end of the gopher-shaped table. She said, "Look at this," and she showed me the aerial map of your site, and she showed me what she just was talking, and I said, no, that would never work in a million years because of the size, because of the weight of the structures, because of overpass requirements, etc. So I was 100% wrong on that. That quick route onto I-20 is in fact a possibility.
Well, yeah, if we can get to Sibley Road, which again turns into 370 or 371, what that does for us is we're trying to get some of these projects. I was with KSLA yesterday showing them something that's 75, 76 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 160,000 pounds, somewhere in that range. That for us to get that to West Texas, right now we have got to get the Coshada, because at Coshada we have the newer bridge that crosses the Red River, and then we get over into Tenaha, Texas, and once we get to Texas, the routes open up for us. So, that Sibley Road route is a pretty direct route if we can extend east there, and then get down to Coshada. And that's how we're getting. If we take the Camp Minden route that's been proposed, you're really in the end, all that does is we get to Highway 71 south of Bossier, and then we run to Coshada. So
okay.
It's all funneling there.
Graham, I got to go here because I know people are going to talk about this. When you heard Dr. Wilson say on our radio station yesterday, he only heard about this a week and a half ago. And then there's a letter you sent in February to the governor. He was copied. A lot of folks were copied. Did he not see that letter? I mean, why was this delayed? Why is he just now hearing about this? You've been waving a red flag about this for many months.
Yeah, and you'd have to ask Dr. Wilson that question. I mean, I certainly we've tried to make everyone that'll listen aware, and but I also appreciate the fact that he's dealing in a pretty difficult situation where, if I heard it right yesterday, he's got 33. The 33rd bridge just got closed, so this year in the state. So he's dealing with a pretty tremendous backlog of projects. But at some point, for us, this has been a slow kind of slowly building emergency that we've got to be able to address in order to maintain and continue investing in Louisiana. So it's kind of a binary decision in the end, right?
Graham, when you were here yesterday, you had said you had hoped to make, I'm probably going to make a final decision on this by October 1st. Does the prospect of let's call it the Camp Minden Compromise, let's aggrandize this, it's awesome, the Camp Minden Compromise, does the Camp Minden idea, does it at least give you the possibility, or does it make you think about postponing a final decision?
No, I think we have to continue pushing on towards the final decision. I mean, we're at a point where, over the past few years, we've invested a lot in our facility and in our people and what we're doing here in Minden. And we have additional investment that we've got to make, additional folks that we'd like to be able to bring on. So, I guess we're at a point where, quite frankly, I just don't need the uncertainty any longer. And I understand that, there are potential solutions and all that, but I kind of need to get past the issue. We all do, and be able to keep doing what we do best, which is, not dealing with local bridge infrastructure and having to deal with to get that kind of situation resolved. So, no, I think we're still pushing towards October the 1st, and I'm in a best case scenario. We have this handled next week, and we don't have to go through additional interviews, but I've got to have some certainty in that process. So that's where we're relying primarily upon our site consultant, who's based out of New Orleans, to make sure that we have the right things in place.